Hello everyone and welcome to my channel On the Hook Crochet, where we talk about wearable crochet style. Let's find out what's been on the hook. I have several things on the hook and some projects that I would like to talk to you about, some things that are coming up, and I haven't got my 2020 resolutions done yet or my plans to move forward with my YouTube channel. I haven't really decided about that, but I know some of the YouTubers are out there talking about what they're doing next year, which is great. I haven't really had time to do that. As you know, I was playing bells this weekend with the symphony here in Chattanooga. It was awesome. We had a great crowd and they seemed to really enjoy hearing us, and the whole program was really, really good. There was a guest singer and the full symphony, the full Chattanooga Symphony Orchestra choir singing, and beautifully arranged numbers, and we had a guest conductor as well, and he really thought that the show went well, and so did we. So we enjoyed that, and it was a full weekend, morning till night, pretty much both days, and so I've been kind of out of pocket since Friday. But I wanted to jump on and talk about some projects that I've been working on and some happy mail that I have. I'm not going to do a lot of that, but I do want to acknowledge those who sent me things in the mail, and I think that's so sweet of y'all to do that. I really, really appreciate it. So let me start with that. I'll just start that really quickly. This was from Michelle, and I don't know what city you're from, Michelle, but Michelle sent me an H clover hook. Now, I guess Michelle was watching my videos a while back, a couple weeks ago, and I was just whining about losing my H hook, my clover H hook. So Michelle took it upon herself to order one from Amazon and have it drop shipped to me. So thank you, Michelle. That was very, very thoughtful, and I can always use another H hook because I do lose them quite often. So thank you for that. Also from Kara in Arlington, Texas, she sent me a very pretty stitch marker. Look at that. She's from Texas, so there's the state of Texas right there, and a boot there, and a pretty pink, almost like a little bead or something on there. It's really cute. So thank you, Kara. I appreciate it so much, and a nice Christmas card to go with it. So thank you very much, Kara. That was sweet of you to do that. In fact, I have quite a few stitch markers now, and I'm using these to mark the right sides of my project, so I'm not wondering which is the right side and which is not the right side. So I love those because they're very special, and they stay on the garment piece the whole time you're working on it. You know, until you sew it all together, you do need to know which side is the right side. So I just hook this right in the middle of the garment, and that way I at a glance know if I'm on the right side or the wrong side. When I'm adding in another yarn ball, I usually flip the ends over onto the wrong side so that, you know, I don't have to sew them in or pull them through or anything. And that way I can just see at a glance what side I'm working on. So that works out great. Now, Christmas cards, I'm just going to quickly go through these, but thank you so much for sending these. Sarah from Indianapolis sent me a beautiful card, and it talks about be still and know that I'm God. I love that verse from the Bible. Very pretty. Thank you, Sarah. And from Lori in Montgomery, Texas, she sent me a nice little story about making a difference, and it was very sweet. And thank you, Lori from Montgomery. I really appreciate that. I read it, and it meant a lot to me. I really like that story about the little child that was throwing starfish into the ocean that had washed up on shore. All right, this one is from Dreama, and she's in Sellersburg, Indiana. Thank you. Or it might be Drama. It's D-R-E-M-A. A beautiful card with my favorite bird, the cardinal. I love the cardinals. We have those come to our bird feeders out back, and all winter long they're there. Every morning after it's really, really cold, I make sure that they have plenty of food to eat because they eat like crazy in the mornings after the sun comes up and it's been very cold at night. They are on my bird feeders, so I love those red cardinals. This one is from Petra in Vine Grove, Kentucky. Beautiful card, very beautiful. I love that artwork on there. It's one of the, looks like one of the three kings. Yes, he's bringing a gift right there. He's bringing a gift to the Christ child. So very nice. Thank you so much, Petra. All right, and this one is from Milagritos Ortiz, and she was a giveaway winner about a month ago, and she sent me a nice card and thanking me for the giveaway and that she's enjoying it. And thank you. Millie is her name. And finally, from Karen in Bowden, Georgia, she sent me a really pretty card. And this is Oh Holy Night. I love those. They're very pretty. Love the nativity scenes. My ring light showing up on that. There it is. That's a little better. Very, very pretty. Thank y'all so much for all the Christmas cards and for the well wishes, for the H hook and the stitch marker. And I just really was so excited when I went to my post office box today, and there were a whole lots of things in there. So that was kind of fun. So thank y'all so much. Y'all are the sweetest community on the web. You are the sweetest community on the web. So there's that. Now, today I actually had a breakfast with some girlfriends of mine where we exchanged Christmas presents. And I got this, and y'all can appreciate this. Some of y'all talk about my makeup, and they, because I actually wear makeup. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with not wearing any makeup. But I choose to wear it. I've always worn makeup. And so one of my friends bought me this, cup to put my crochet hooks in, which is perfect size for that. And on the front it says, "May your days be as flawless as your makeup." Where'd she found that? That's so funny. Anyway, that was one of the gifts that I received today. And I actually made each one of those ladies a cowl by hand, and I crocheted it for them. And they just love that. Every year I always give them something handmade, and they buy me lots of really cute things. So it's a fun once-a-year thing that I do with some ladies that I used to work with. So that's what I did this morning. I knew I wanted to jump on here and talk about the progress I made this weekend. Now, I didn't make a whole lot of progress, but I did make some. Now, one thing I did not work on was this scarf, and it is just not my favorite thing to do, but this is the scarf from Knit Crate, and the yarn that they sent me was Vita Lana yarn, and it was kind of that brownish color. I do like the yarn. It's a chain yarn. It's made in a chain. It's not twisted. It's very pretty, and I did start it last week, and I showed you this, and I'm going to have to rip this out because I put too many stitches on one side. And I took this with me to the symphony because we have a lot of downtime, and we have to fill it with something. And it was living in this little bag that a friend of mine had made, and I bought this from her, and it was the perfect size bag for that. I took it down to the symphony and in this bag, and I did absolutely nothing on it. I don't know why. It just didn't appeal to me. So I brought it back home, and I will work on that, but not right now. I've got some other things that are more pressing and that I'm more excited about working on. So that won't be top of my list, but I probably will eventually make it up. What I did work on was a Friday Cardi, that's my pattern from Etsy, in the City Tweed by Knit Picks. And I did some work on that. I'm making it with a K hook. This is my K Clover hook. It's a pretty good size hook, but this is also heavy worsted weight yarn. And I made, I see how far I got on this. This is how far I've gotten. I haven't gotten very far, but I wanted to start it. I wanted to chain it up, and I chained it with an L hook. And then I've been crocheting with a K hook. And it's just a simple double crochet, just like the pattern. And there's my right side stitch marker right there. It's just kind of hanging there, so I'll know which is the right side. And if y'all don't know how to tell which is the right side or not, in my patterns I don't say this is the right side or that's the wrong side. Because either side looks okay to me. In crochet, it's not that big a deal. In knitting, it is a big deal. I haven't really determined that it's a huge deal in crochet, but I'll show you how to determine the right side. You start by finding your original yarn start right here. This is where you started your chain, and there's your, the hang yarn when you first get started. and the chain goes this way and then coming back that way and back way. Okay, so if you look at this, the bottom row, this is how I can look at it and tell, is it's got a little bit of a ridge along the bottom. And on the other side, there is not a ridge. It's more of a soft edge. Now you can use that for your right side. I was always taught to use this side with a little bit of a ridge on the front. And that's if you're chaining, not doing a foundation chain. I don't know what that looks like at the bottom. It may look totally different. But I do know that if you put this on the left side, so say I am looking at my sweater fabric, and I put that over here on the left side, I'm looking at it and the left side is over here and the yarn is hanging here, then that means that the side facing me is the right side, and that's why I put the stitch marker on the right side. So that's how you can tell which is the right side in crochet. Now, I've always learned that the yarn tail will be on your left, and that's an easy way to do it. That way you don't have to look along the bottom. But if you really want to, you can turn it over and it looks just as nice or just as fun or whatever, unless you're doing like back post, front post stitches. And then it does make a huge difference. So you need to know how to mark your right side and use a stitch marker and just put it on there so that you don't have to keep looking at it and going, wonder which, okay, that's the left side. Just put the stitch marker on there and make it easy on yourself. But that's as far as I've gotten with this. I did a little work on it. I just wanted to see how it was going to look. And I love the way it's turning out. I do. It's very, very soft. And it's made out of the same yarn that I made the cobblestone sweater from, only different color. And I think I have quite a bit of this, so I should have enough to work on my cardigan with that. Now, I ordered another ball of this, and this is the color that I thought I might make as the edging. And I kind of like that. It gives it a much lighter feel than using black. And that would be the only other color I would really put with it. The purple would be very hard to match up in a solid purple. And just making it out of this would not make the sweater at all special. It would just be a plain old sweater. So I thought I would make the edging out of this beautiful knit crate yarn. And the actual City Tweed purple yarn has some spots in it that are this same color. They're kind of a light color, if you can see that. And so it would probably pick that up and look okay with it. And I knew that this would probably not be enough to do the wide trim that goes all the way around the neck, around the bottom, and around the bottom of the sleeves. I really felt like I wouldn't have enough of this. So I ordered another one. Just like it, obviously, just like it. And I wanted to have plenty. I ordered this, and I used my points at Knit Crate. And if y'all are at all familiar with Knit Crate, they give you points for every month that you are on their subscription box, either one, Malabrigo, and the other one, the regular monthly subscription. And if you are on their list, then you get points every month for that. And they add your points up, and every so often you can go out there and see how many points you have. Well, this is a $30 skein of yarn, and I got it for $7.50 because I had some points saved up. So that was, I thought, a good use of those points. Now, I might have a whole lot of this left over, and if I do, I can make something out of it, make a little quick cap or something, you know, maybe for one of the grandsons. I don't know. But anyway, that I'll find a use for it because it's very, very soft. It's a beautiful color. This is called Shoreline, and it's 40% superwash merino, 30 silk, 30 alpaca. Worsted weight, 150 yards on the hank. And again, that was the reason I ordered a second one, because I thought I would need more than 150 yards to do all that trim work on my sweater. And I'm also making the sweater a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, and I'm going to make the fronts wider so that they will overlap, even though I probably won't put buttons on it. I really don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I might put buttons on it and put some holes in the trim and then sew the buttons underneath and be able to button it up. If I make it big enough, I can do that. And this is already wider than the other one at the back. If you can see that, it's pretty wide. I'm making it pretty big. So we'll be eager to see how that turns out. It's always an experiment around here. All right, also what I worked on while I was gone this weekend was this sweater, which is my Mohair white and black sweater. Now, I made it very, very boxy, and I've already talked about this once, but this is a very boxy sweater. This is going to be very, very boxy. You can see that. It's got lots of ease in here, and when you put the front on this is actually the back that I'm showing you, but if you put the front with this, it's going to have 5 or 6 inches of ease past the side seam measurement. So I don't know how it's going to turn out. It's very drapey though, and I've shown this to you before. This is going to be really nice. It's going to be very warm, and it's thickly crocheted. This is crocheted with a J hook in half double crochet. So the stitches are very close together and you can't see through it, so it's going to be very, very warm. This yarn is a combination of mohair and white wool, and it's already, twisted together, of course, and it's from Ice Yarns. Very nice yarn, not expensive. It's called Sale Winter, S-A-L-E Winter. I don't know why. It's on sale, I guess, but it's 20% mohair, 25% wool, 45% acrylic, and 10% polyamide. So it's got a little bit of nylon in it. It makes it very soft, very pliable, and it should be very, very warm. And I'm excited about that because I like warm clothes. I have the back already finished. All right, the back is finished, and the front I am working on, and I've gotten this much done mostly this weekend. I did quite a bit of this weekend, maybe half of it or something, but I didn't have as much time as I did last year. I had 3 or 4 hours of time where I was just totally downtime at the symphony, but this year it was only about an hour and a half, and I was distracted a lot, so I didn't really get a whole lot done, but I did work on this. And this is the right side, of course. I've got a stitch marker on there, very pretty stitch marker, and it's just hanging there to be sure that I know that's the right side. And I'll show you the wrong side as well, because this is kind of interesting. I think I told you last time that I needed 1 ball for 7 inches of the side-to-side measurement, so I knew that I was going to run out. So I did order some more, and I received that from Ice. It was the same yarn, which was great. And then I could proceed on with my sweater. But each ball takes 7 inches, and I even checked it out on this one. This is also a 7-inch measurement from where I started the ball up to the next ball. It's 7 inches. So I can pretty well tell that that's going to be plenty of yarn for me to finish this particular sweater, and I really like it. I really, really like it. It's soft in my hands. It's going to be soft to wear. I wanted to show you the progress on that and where I'm going with it. Also, just a quick note, if you were with me last week, you know that I finished my grandson's sweater. I said I think I'm going to make him another sweater out of another pattern, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, but I do have a couple of patterns that I might use, but that I might pick from. But I found this yarn downstairs. This is some jeans yarn. They're both the same color. It's Stonewash by Lion Brand. This is the jeans yarn. So soft. I've made lots of things out of it. And I found 2 balls of it down there. And I think that might be enough to finish the sweater, because each ball, each skein has, let me find it, 246 yards. I figured I needed, 475 yards to make the baby hug sweater that I showed you last week. And you can go back and look at that video. It's a pretty little sweater. I've got it all wrapped up and ready to take to him on Wednesday. But I think he needs another sweater from his Gigi. The other boys, I made at least 2 for each one of them, and I thought, well, I can use this beautiful jeans yarn and make him a cute little denim sweater. And the color that I picked for the trim was the jeans yarn, and this is more of a red. The camera kind of blows that out. It's not pink. It's really a really pretty kind of a light red It's really hard for the camera to pick up, but it's not pink. But anyway, it looks really cute up against that. And the colors are made to go with each other. So I think it's going to be really cute. And I'll put some trim down the front, probably around the hood would be red, maybe little red ears if I put the hood on it, and maybe a little red trim around the bottom of the sleeves, just something to make it look a little dressed up, you know. So, and I found this in my stash. I don't have to spend 1 penny to make this sweater. I just have to spend some time on it. I want him to have it for wintertime. I don't want him to have to wait until spring, and then he probably won't be able to wear it because it'll be too hot. And also, if you looked at my thumbnail, you'll see that I'm wearing a new cowl, and this is a new pattern, and I'm just going to go ahead and introduce it now. And it's called the Allison Cowl. I've already got the pattern written for it, and there are 2 ways that I made it. It's got lots of texture. It has a lot of texture. Let me get up here and show it to you. This is front post, back post, all in here. There are half double crochets, double crochets, and the front post, back post. You can learn how to make it. It's got a center piece, so it's not hard to make. It's made flat, and then you just sew it together, and then the edging is very, very easy. It's just really just chains, but they're done in different lengths of chains, so it's an interesting trim, but it's not really fancy. It's not terribly fancy. But I did want to put a little trim on it, but that is totally optional. You don't have to put that trim on there. But let me show you the other one, and I'll put it on and model it for you. Hold on just 1 second. Okay, I'm back, and I wanted to show you this other Allison cowl that I made. The cowl is actually named Allison after my niece, who came by a couple weekends ago and took some photos of me with my sweaters on, and it was really nice because she's an actual photographer, and it's not just me taking a selfie of myself. I really like what she did. We didn't have a whole lot of time, so we did some of the pieces, and I still have to put some of those pictures out on Etsy, but if you're in the community, you would have gotten an email from me about the cobblestone sweater. I think it was the 2nd email I sent out. It was one of the photos that Allison took of me on my front steps. So you can look at it and you see it's not just a selfie. It's kind of done with a nice camera and all that. So I named this new cowl after Allison. She's so sweet and so easy to work with. And I thought, well, I'll just name this after her because I was looking for a name for it. But here it is done in landscape. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. It's done in landscapes. This is how much landscapes I had left. That's by Lion Brand, and I used 1 skein. And this is what I had left. 1 skein. And the colorway is Twilight. Very beautiful. It has some chartreuse in it and blue, light blue. It's really, really pretty. And I made this in a 28-inch style. The brown one that I just showed you is made in a 30-inch length, and it's done with this yarn, which is called Whiskey, and it's a Vitalana yarn, just all that I had left out of 1 hank, this little tiny piece right here. And then what I did with it was I combined it with black mohair. So I combined these 2 together to make this cowl. If you can see that, it's got the black mohair and the Vitalana held together. And I used an MN hook for this. And then for the landscape, I used an L hook. And this is how it turned out. It's really soft and it's really pretty. I love the self-striping in the landscape because it's a very gradual color change, but it's quick. And so you don't have, 4 inches of one color. It changes pretty quickly. So I really like the way it looks. It turned out really pretty. So this is landscapes in the color Twilight and my Allison Cowl pattern. So I'm going to put that out on Etsy, and y'all can take a look at it, see if you like it. And I have an email coming out tomorrow, And that email will include a link to the Allison Cowl pattern, and it will be my Christmas present to the On the Hook community. And so I'm going to send that out to you in an email. If you're in the community, you will receive a free Allison Cowl pattern from me. And that's my Christmas present to you. Y'all are the sweetest people I have ever known. Just the most beautiful people are the creators, the yarnies, the people that love yarn and they love crochet and they love knitting. They're just generous people. They give, and I so appreciate the beautiful comments that y'all make. It keeps me going on my YouTube channel. So I really wanted to give y'all something that you could use and that you would enjoy. It's not a difficult pattern at all. It's not an academic pattern. It is an easy pattern. I'll probably take off a few days, maybe till the end of this week, and maybe start back up next Tuesday. I have a gathering at my house on the 30th, and it's going to be lots and lots of 35 people or something. So I really probably won't be doing a video next Monday, but I will be back on Tuesday. And I will be back with you, and maybe we'll do a giveaway that day. I don't know. We'll see. But and later on in the week, next week, I'll probably have some kind of plans for 2020 that I can throw out there and see if y'all think they might be good to do. I'll let y'all weigh in on it. I always love your feedback. Your input are very welcome to me. I do get a lot of emails. I get comments on my videos, and I take those into consideration. One thing I did hear from a nice lady who wanted me to design a hat, and I had plans to do that, and I was going to try to get it done by the end of the year, but I don't think that's going to happen. And since there are so many hats out on the internet, I don't know if that would even be something that y'all would be interested in. There are thousands of hats and tutorials for the hats. They're not hard to find, and I don't know if I can improve on that. A hat is a hat, and I know there are little different styles of hats, but I probably won't do that. I'm really more interested in making things that you wear, like sweaters, cowls, scarves, things like that. I might throw a hat out there at some point, but I probably won't be able to do it right away. So I wanted to let y'all know that. I do take into consideration what you tell me, and I do appreciate it so much. And that's why I want to give you something back for Christmas. So I'm going to send out an email, and the Allison Cowl will be there as a link, and you just click on it and the PDF will appear, and you can print it off right there. You can work off your iPad or your iPhone or your computer. You can do that as well. So you don't have to print it, but it's always good to have printed copy in a file so that you can put your hand on it and you don't have to search through all of your electronic files to find something. I don't do well with that, so I like to have paper copies of patterns in my file so I can flip through them and I can touch them and look at page 2 and 3 and not have to, try to find them on an electronic device. So that will be in your email probably in the morning. If I don't get it sent out tonight, I will go ahead and send it to you, and you can enjoy that pattern. It'll be my gift to the On the Hook community. So I hope you have a great rest of the day and evening, and until tomorrow, be sure to check your inbox for that free pattern. So join me next time to find out what's on the hook.